Hey guys. Oh. Mm. Mm. I just want to do another video today. I want to wrap up this little series on faith, and I just want to kind of cover some real simple truths. I mean, this faith is so profound. When we're talking about faith, many of us, I know I did, I used to take it for granted what faith meant, and then I realized recently that this word faith is so much more than I ever understood. And that's why, in sharing these videos with you guys, this is kind of my own, releasing my own personal journey. It's a revelation of me discovering me discovering what God believes about me discovering who I am in Him, and coming to a revelation of deeper truths or simple truths. God always speaks in these seemingly simple words and phrases, and yet they're so profound when we just have an opportunity to reflect or meditate on His truths. When we go deeper into them, we can discover so much more depth and truth to it. So in the with the idea of keeping the main thing, and keeping things simple, so that we can, not just so that we can understand them, but because something happens in the simplicity of the reality of our being that begins to unfold and unveil in us deeper, profound truth and revelation. When we know that God speaks to us in sometimes a single word. He created the entire universe in a single word. His name is Jesus Christ. His name is Jesus. His title is the Christ. So just those two words alone, one is a proper noun for a man who came in the form, God came in the form of a man and revealed in this word Jesus, this name Jesus, that God saves us completely. It's total salvation. So I want to maybe do another video soon on just that word salvation, because it is huge. It covers everything in a single word. There's wholeness, healing, wellness, peace, perfection. Whoa. So I'm amazed at how simple it is to communicate a truth, and then as we expound, or His Spirit expounds to us the revelation of the fullness of it, it seems like a paradox. And it is. Because in our minds, we love to complicate things, and we love to come up with these big, tricky words and catchy phrases, and it's all good because we're trying to convey concepts. But behind the words and behind the concepts is a reality of something that has substance. So today, just talking about faith, experiencing faith and what it is. We talked before that faith is a substance. Faith is the substance of a reality, of a conveyance of the mind of God, of the thoughts of God. Even the very being of God is being conveyed to and in and through our being. And we're already created with the capacity to understand it, to perceive it, to recognize it. And we know it's real because we can feel it. It may require this extrasensory perception, but as we become sensitized, resensitized, and not desensitized, as the world gets us to, it desensitizes our spirit and our ability to hear by the Spirit. What God has come to do is to resensitize us to the reality that is our spirit, that is the essence of our being. And so in his In his divine will and purpose, he reaches out and he enters into man, and he's created these beings we call men, women, humans. He's created us for the sole purpose of occupying us, of communing with us, communicating with us, to be with us, and for us to be his family, for us to be his sons and daughters, for us to be his children in a relationship. And so that's what faith is this communication of God, in essence a communion of the God of the universe that unveils himself in living flesh and blood, bones, and in the substance of all things that are created. And what's interesting is, as we look at those things that are created, we also know that deep within here there's something more and beyond just what we can see by our natural eyes and feel and touch. It's beyond physical. That is the substance of life. That is things like love. Love's invisible. That's why love is not only just an analogy of God, but it is the very substance of God, this love thing that you can't even put a label on. When you feel and experience love, you just know it. And already inside of you is something that recognizes what it looks like. It knows what it feels like. And it brings this feeling that's so good. That's so incredibly good. And when you know it when you fall in love, when you fall in love, deeply, madly, truly into love, everything changes. Your vision and your perspective is a whole new world. It's a whole new world. So in essence, what I'm talking about in this faith thing, it can be experienced in the form of love, which is God in communion with you. But to recognize and to specify in a word this communication of faith, this word called faith. Faith is touching something in us which is our entire belief system. It's our worldview, it's our perspective, it's the way in which we see things. So faith is a spiritual thing. It's a spiritual substance. That is a belief system. All of us have a belief system. All of us have a value system. And that makes up how we identify ourselves. What we identify with, or how we define who we are, what we are, why we are, even how we are. And so why faith is so important is because it's the bridge and the gap between the root and the fruit. We're the substance in the middle ground, this human being that contains the essence of this substance called faith, which is a belief system. It's our entire paradigm, our value system, how we define ourselves. And ultimately, what we've come to conclude by understanding what faith is that faith, first of all, doesn't originate with me. The reality of what I believe is either reflected back to me from something external, either in a relationship. We try to get identity from relationships. We talk about things psychologically like codependency. Codependency is simply trying to get your identity in a relationship with another human being, and you're on an equal plane, and because you're on an equal plane, there's no real way to get definition and true understanding of your worth and value and definition of who you are from trying to get that and glean it from an outside source, or a source that is equal with you on an equal plane of being. Ultimately, if we even think of it logically, there must be something out there that created us, and something out there by definition that has defined us. We're looking to our maker, we're looking to the manufacturer, And we're trying through that to find definition. We're reading the handbook. We call it the Bible, and we kind of label it the Bible or the handbook of God. But that book is so valuable because it does portray the truth of this love story. But we know this already, with or without a Bible, with or without other people teaching us, with or without hearing other voices. We know it because there's something within us that is eternal, something within us that confirms for us that there is a truth beyond our being and our limited understanding, our capacity to understand it. That's why I love hearing stories about people who have had out-of-body experiences or near-death experiences, because they come back with these stories that are so incredible, that confirm in us something that we know is true, something that we want to believe. And we want to believe it because there's something in us that's saying there's something there that's really real. I can't put my finger on it. I can't wrap my head around it. I can't even taste it, touch it, smell it, feel it with my natural senses. And yet I know it. And so this faith comes as a knowing that we know something beyond our minds, our ability to comprehend it. But something is resonating inside us. It's our spirit that's welling up in us, that's trying to communicate with us and resonate within us this truth of this substance that we know, even if it's untouchable and invisible, yet we know that it's real. There's a reality of it. And so my heart, in trying to expound truth in any language, it's trying to go beyond words, and it's trying to go beyond this, and it's trying to speak to what's in here and touch spirit to spirit. I'm trying to communicate spirit to spirit. I'm trying to commune. I'm trying to touch a place in you that you already have, that you already know is real, that you already sense by this extrasensory perception, the capacity to perceive it, a capacity to know it, and a capacity to feel it that convinces you beyond your thinking that now you know something. See, this substance has consciousness in it. It has intelligence in it. It has awareness of our being in it. And so in modern contemporary language, we're using a lot of different words to try to speak to the heart and the condition of our hearers. We're trying to reach a generation of people that's surrounded with so much information. And that's good. We have all this knowledge and wisdom and information coming into us from all these sides and from all of, these resources. And yet, that can also be a distraction. What I want is for us to just sit quietly and be still and know it's the simplicity of being still in your quiet place and knowing that there's something beyond all the external noise and all beyond our thinking. The reality that comes when you just take a walk in the woods, walk in the forest, walk outside, or look at the stars. You realize they're speaking. They're speaking the essence of a substance, of something that's far greater than you, and yet it's resonating from inside you. It's saying, I know you. I believe in you. I believe there's something there, and I only want to know what that is. The truth is out there. If you want to follow X-Files, there's so many people looking for truth, looking for the reality, and yet it becomes so simple in realizing that you already know that there's something there that speaks in a still small voice, a quiet whisper that tells you, oh my God, there's something real about this. There's something real about this thing we call God. This essence of a being and the reality of a creator, but the creator is communing with the created. And in that life, he's not just, he hasn't just made you as a form, as a tangible body, but he's filled that body with something that's more than physical. He's filled you with his spirit that resonates spirit to your spirit. He's given you his spirit and your spirit. There's not duality there. It's a communion of oneness because there's only one spirit. It is his spirit. When he breathed into you, it gave you life, and that life resonates. And so I want to just kind of wrap up the idea of faith. You know, there's a whole lot of language I could use to try to convey to you what it is. First of all, I'll just say you already know what it is. Because you have welling up in you a persuasion of belief that's touching a value system. Your beliefs are spiritual. It's your spirit becoming aware of the reality of what is. And it's that communion with God that, whether it feels external, is still resonating from internally, from inside you. And it's welling up from the inside out, and it's saying, believe what I believe, know what I know. I've already put my knowing in you. I've already put my beliefs in you. I've put my thoughts in your mind. I've put my love in your heart. I've put my spirit in your body. My spirit lives and breathes and moves in you. You are a created, your essence of your being is an uncreated life that has no origin and has no ending. It's eternal. The magnitude of your being is far bigger than you've ever imagined, exceedingly, abundantly, above and beyond all you could ever think or imagine. That's the promise. And the reality is, you know it. So I'm only I'm confirming what's affirmed in you. I'm affirming and confirming what's already affirmed firmly in you. I'm speaking life to life. I'm speaking spirit to spirit. I'm breathing breath to breath. And I'm communing with you in the essence of this being, which is our faith. It's the substance. It's the key that unlocks the doorway to heaven that's wide open. The door's already open, and you've already been escorted in. Because Christ came to draw you up into himself and elevate you in a position with him in this heavenly realm. That's what heaven is. It's the invisible realm where God lives. It's where God lives. And God lives in you. God lives in me. God lives in this us and this we. This I am that's became we are. We are one with him. We're one with another. We commune on a level that's spiritual. We feel and we know. There's truth and there's spirit. There's love and there's truth. These are love gives truth its voice. So there's consciousness and there's spirit. Being one. There's your being. And then there's awareness of your being and a consciousness that has in it intelligence, the ability to perceive, and the ability to feel by the Spirit. So this love is persuasive. This love is all convincing. This love is a reality. And so for all of my loved ones, all my friends, all my family, my Facebook friends, for the world, I'm just proclaiming a confirmation of what you know in your being, and you can rest in the knowledge of that. Come to awareness and come to a complete awareness of your own being, an understanding of who you are, and that's where you'll find those answers. Who am I? Why am I? How am I? All of those came to you from your Creator. And not that he wants to be separate. He doesn't want to be separate. He's elevated you into a place where he's put you on an equal plane with him, so that he's unveiling himself to you, and he's unveiling you to you. So once you realize, all of a sudden, you know what he has always known to be true about you. And so this convincing and this persuasion, this thing we call faith, is simply God believing, God's beliefs, God's truth, God's value system, God's essence of his being made alive in a manifestation, a man, a woman infested with the fullness of his Spirit. And it's the glory of his being that is alive in us. So it literally is an impartation of his belief, and we become persuaded by it, so that then we simply agree. Oh, that's the truth. Oh, that's the truth. Oh, that's the truth. And his name is Jesus Christ. This Christ awareness. We'll study that word one day. We'll study the word Jesus. We'll study the word salvation. These simple little words that they're so profound that they encompass and envelop the entire universe of our understanding, the universe of all that is. It's wrapped up in this thing called God. And he is alive. And he's real. And he's you. And he's me. And he's we. I like to say, I'm not God, but he is me, because he's living and moving, having his being in me. And it wrecks me, because I realize that I no longer live. The old ego mind is gone. I'm living as this essence of God being manifest on the earth, the body of Christ walking around the planet, loving on people. Whoa, speaking life to them, giving them gifts of encouragement, empowerment, of understanding, wisdom, grace, and love. So I speak love to love today. You're loved. You are lovable. You're made from love. The essence of your being is love. All that is made from love. So enjoy all the different manifestations. Explore. Take a journey. Take a journey with me. And a journey with yourself and God to reveal in that beautiful relationship and that communion. Whoa. God bless you guys. See you soon.